Board, please. These wool handlers will be handling 3 long wool fleeces. Our judges on the board. Timekeepers ready. Shearers, get set, go.
So Tuma, Rural Women New Zealand are sponsoring this junior wool handling event. They did a great job last night and also providing a special trophy for the top woman shearer. Kind of cool that the women that are in this game are being recognised. There's no other sport where men and women play in the same grade. Oops. So women are having to compete not just against their peers, their gender peers, but they're competing against the men as well. We're a tough lot, this lot. We don't always have to have those special grades. So thank you very much to Rural Women New Zealand as we start into this first heat of the junior wool handling semi-final. And down on stands 1 and 2, we have the sisters from Pongaroa, Samantha and Summer. Great family. Their father, Colin, just takes them everywhere, follows them around, has been a great mentor and coach for them all. And now, Colin, here's the payback. Stand number 3, Sarah Davis. Sarah, Rere Whakaitu. That place is better known for rodeos and horsework. And I'm sure Sarah can do that just as well. But here today, she's on the board as a potential junior champion. So let's make that work, Sarah. And down here on the final stand, Crystal Bird. She's been a brilliant competitor right through the season. She's been right there every time. Here we go with the first throws, Tuma. What are these going to look like? Yeah. Good throws. Great throws. Well done to these junior competitors in this first heat. The first fleece is always a bit of a, oh, what's this one going to do? Am I going to throw it hard? Am I going to throw it soft? Is it a placement one? Decisions to be made. These juniors haven't been in the wool sheds in a full-time way for very long. They're better than a novice, but they're still in that learning phase. They probably still have someone that sits above them, that mentors them, that helps them through. But the skills that we're seeing from these semi-finals tell us that things are in good heart. If this is the level of our juniors, makes me feel good.
Yes, you did right, Mavis. The skill that these juniors have nowadays, it's probably the skill of the seniors, about 20 years ago.
Oh, I don't think so.
It's the training that is in place with a lot of these wool handlers now. Within 3 or 4 years, they can be right up there with the best of them.
Yep, that's dead right. The skills are certainly a lot sharper, but, Tuma, I remember 20 years ago, gee, we were pretty cool back then too,
We got young Samantha Baxter down here, table number 1. She runs back to her shearer. She knows how important the setup is. So she's right there with her shearer, her sister Summer there. Table number 2 runs back. I think the little sister Summer's got a better fleece there, but we'll see how these wool handlers handle it. Turn and throw. Ooh, not a bad throw here on table 1. Table 2, bunching. Sarah Davis, table 3, overhanging.
Yeah, and down here, no overhang, a little bit of bunching, but actually Crystal probably wasted that throw a little bit. She could have had that really flat. She did a great job, but could have been greater. No criticism, just trying to help out.
Just looking around the board, Mavis, where these wool handlers are working, they've got 9 baskets around there. So on the belly, we've got the frib and the main belly wool. So those two go in 2 different baskets. Then we move into the crutch. There's a bit of short wool, some sock wool. Then they'll get into the undermine. And then we'll have some short wool from around the fertiliser works, as we call it. There'll be some more sock wool. And there could be a bit of stain, maybe some dags. So those all need to be processed. And then they take the top knot off. Now that's a hollow fibre, a modulated fibre that's got its own little basket. They step up the neck, and then the wool that's in the cheeks as well, that's a hollow fibre, so that goes into another basket. So these wool handlers, they've got a lot of processing to do in such a very short amount of time, because these shearers are probably shearing these sheep in under 2 minutes. So they've got 2 minutes to process that fleece. That's a heck of a lot of work for these young wool handlers.
That's right. And they're doing it really well. They're doing it efficiently. So we're really pleased to see that they've been able to make things happen. Last throw. Yeah, again, I guess, will they be happy with those throws? Probably not. But they'll be, you know, it is what it is. So you just get on and do it. You don't agonise. You just make it work. One of the things, look at the beautiful wool that we've got here. Cross Keys, Wicks. He's been supplying these sheep for longer than I can remember. Fabulous clip of wool, fabulous line. Thank you so much, Wicks, for the effort you go to help Golden Shears maintain this full wool competition. But look at these girls. The fleeces are being rolled up. Now comes the work where we will see who's done the planning or who's just winging it. A lot of thinking goes into this, into the clean-up phase. And if you haven't done it, if you haven't thought about it, if you haven't planned, it ends up being like, you know, just hope like hell. And at this level, can't be done. Well done to Samantha. She didn't want to muck around. And there's her sister. Yeah, way to go, Sarah. Crystal's just doing the final little bit of clean up and getting things organised. Into the bucket. Yes. Well done. Well done, Heat 1 of those junior semi-finals.
Heat 2, Table 1, Tyler Hura. Table 2, Cortez Osler. 3, Conan Gray. And 4, Lucky Garrett. Heat 3 up straight away, Naira Puha, Naki Maraki, Tremont Campbell, and Irina Searseer. And following that, we'll have our Young Farmers Teams event. The West Coast team, Jimmy Samuels and Logan Kamara, and Connor Puha and Naira Puha. East Coast, we've got the whole Pritchard family, Anna Baxter, and the South Island team, Sarah Higgins, Duncan Higgins, Sam Gordon, and Ethan Pankhurst.
Ethan Pankhurst?
Well, he's that big a guy, he spreads his love far and wide. He's got a lot of love to give, Toma.
Covers the whole country.
I think he got asked by a blonde girl down south and he couldn't say no.
Sounds like Ethan. Okay, Rural Woman New Zealand are the sponsor of the Junior Woolhandling semi-final. 3 more young guns stepping up to the plate. We're just waiting on some fadges and baskets to come in from out the back. But we've got an action-packed morning, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the Woolhandling semi-final, junior. Then we've got the Young Farmers Teams event. Then we have the Blue Ribbon. And then we'll run on with the Senior Shearing semi-final. And then we'll have the National Shearing Circuit semi-final. So it's a really good morning. There's a lot of action going on. We haven't got any pressing this morning, so we can use the seats up the back a little bit more. Then after that, we run into the afternoon session. Event 38 will be the Rural Women New Zealand Junior Woolhandling Final. Then the Te Puni Kukuri Senior Woolhandling Final. We have Gibbs Honeybees North Island Woolhandling Circuit Final. Then we'll have the Māori Pākehā Team Shearing, Junior Shearing Final, Intermediate Shearing Final, the Senior Shearing Final. open wool handling semis, and the open shearing semi-final. So that's the program of the day. So she's pretty non-stop. And just remember, if you've got people that can't be here but they've got access to the internet, they can log on www.goldenshears.co.nz, and they'll click on the link and they'll join us here in the stadium.
Can we just check the names, please, on the screens? Is Conan here? Conan Gray. Come on, Conan, where are you? I'm sure you're here somewhere. Be a bloomin' shame if you're not.
Laura Bradley. Is Laura here? Can you come? Have you grabbed your singlet?
Oh, well, that's a shame, Conan, if you're not in the stadium.
We're just waiting on the green lights. And we have it. Can we have our shearers to the board? This is heat number 2. Timekeepers ready. Shearers, get set, go. Sorry, Conan Gray, but we can't wait forever. We did give you a fair bit of time. So if you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rural Women New Zealand Junior Wool Handling Semi-Final. We have 3 heats. And if you're watching from home and are from those Northern Hemisphere countries, you'll see that we process our wool a little bit different to a lot of other places. I know in Norway all they do is take from the flank to the bum out, because it's got what they call a hairy breech, and so they take that out and everything else is put together. But here in New Zealand we process it a lot different. These wool handlers, they've got 8 separate baskets around the table, and in every one of those baskets will be a line of wool.
Tuma, back in the day, there was a lot of New Zealand of the crossbred breeds that also had that hairy breech, and it was seen as a fault, a processing fault, and that actually got bred out. That was, genetics were used to minimise and eliminate that as a processing fault. So there's a lot of technical stuff, not just with the wool, but certainly with the sheep breed and the faults that they have. But here we go to the first throw for this junior semi-final. How's it going, Tyler? Lovely. Cortez, bit of an overhang there. Lovely throw for Lucky. Now these are our kohanga reo. They're not quite the kohanga reo, they're probably like the kura grade of wool handling. They're not novices. They have been in the shed, maybe worked a season, maybe 2. So they're still learning. And you probably will notice that with whether it's with the throws, whether it's the standard of the clean-up, whether it's their time, they're still in that developmental phase. But a shout out to Cortez last night, who won the Quality Award for the Woolhandling heats. Can someone just get that, make sure that sheep on the board? Thank you. So well done to you, Cortez. They told us you went home early to go to bed because you're just a young fella and he wasn't able to collect his prize last night. Look at the way Cortez is actually skirting that fleece. I've seen that done before where, it's more, they go backwards rather than facing forward. But whatever works for you, you make it happen, and it's working for him. He's doing a lovely roll. Back to get that eye clip. But Lucky down here, she's got it sorted. Table cleared, back to the shearer. Tuma.
Oh, Mavis, I think that's a very clever idea, Cortez, because men do not have eyes in the back of their heads like women do. So that's why he skirts that way. And here he goes. He's setting up his fleece. Here we go. Let's Cortez. He's actually grown a fair bit in the last year, so he can see above the table now. Lovely throw. Little bit overhanging here from Tyler on table number 1, but that's not too bad. How are we looking down there? That Lucky, she's not mucking around.
No, she's not mucking around, and she had a lovely throw. Would have been struggling to find too many points on that throw. But she's also finding, it looks like a bit of VM in the back that she's pulled out. And again, the skills of these juniors is impressive at this grade, to be able to identify and to remove what looks to me like VM in the middle of the back. That's pretty bloomin' cool, and she's right up there.
She is right up there. This young Cortez, he's grabbed the top knot wool, put it in his bin. You can see he's starting to rotate his baskets around. I don't need that basket anymore, so I'll put this one in there, giving himself a little bit more room. Hope it's not too early, but he will obviously have a plan in his head of what he wants to do. Here he goes. He gets back to his fleece. Nice, tight, compact roll. We've got Tyler here on table number 1. She just had a little bit of overhang, so she uses her knee to bring the wool up to her. Oh, this young Cortez, he's a real Jake the Snake. Here he goes. He leaps back to the board, one single bound. Here he goes, takes that cheek wool, and he's actually doing a little bit of a tidy up now. Oh, preparation is the key, and he feels that. And he's setting up his fleece nicely. We've got young Tyler here on table number 1. Tyler's pulled out a little bit of wool. She thinks it looks a little bit yellow. So a little bit more processing to do. That's why she's a little wee bit behind. But this is the third and final fleece. Let's see what Cortez does. Oh, he is a Jake the Snake, this young boy.
There was a big fleece. He landed that really well. Very, very well. Down the end here, Lucky's got a bit of a open, ropey looking fleece that she's landed pretty well. Hard to do anything when they don't hold like that. But nothing's bothering her. You can see she's just working quietly around, making it happen. But Cortez, he seems to be jumping. He's on fire.
He is on fire. He's focused. Look at the tightness of that roll. Oh, on the wool store, they're going to have problems trying to unroll that fleece because he just rolled the heck out of it. Here we go, broom in hand. He was the first one to throw, but this Lucky from Ekitahuna just up the road, she's actually a little wee bit in front. We got Tyler here on table number 1, rolls that fleece up. Nice, tight, compact Tyler, that's the way. Here we go, and she'll be broom in hand shortly. But looking like it's down there, Mavis, this girl, Lucky from Ekitahuna.
Yes, time. Time taken. That puts a bit of pressure on the other guys, the other 2 competitors. They don't want to be too far. Yes, Cortez.
We got Tyler here on table number 1.
Lucky,
finishing.
if we can move to the end, darling. Move to the end of the stage. Thank you.
Tyler here just doing finishing touches. She's pulling out her second pieces, and she'll be left with all the little wee second cuts and such, and then she'll be putting her hand up. There we go. Well done, Tyler.
Heat 3. On table 1, Naira Puha. 2, Naki Maraki. 3, Tremont Campbell, and 4, Irina Sia. If we could get our young farmers teams to the side of the stage ready, halfway through this heat, please.
Can our wool handlers please hop off the stage? Just let the judges, you don't have to go away. You can watch the judges like a hawk. They've been doing it to you, so you can do it to them.
Welcome to the stadium, everyone, on this last day of Golden Shears, culmination of 3 days and nights of intense competition.
Ronnie King, can you report to the microphone desk, please? Ron King. Ronnie King, are you about the stadium, mate?
While we're waiting for these competitors to organise themselves, I've got Penny Mudford here from Rural Women New Zealand. Great to have you here, Penny.
Oh, it's great to be here. We're having a great time.
Excellent. And of course, you provided a new trophy last night for Top Woman Shearing.
We did, absolutely. So, Top Women Shearing Quality Award, a new award, and we're delighted that Sarah was successful at that. So it's great to see the women shearers here.
There's been a bit of an upsurge, it seems, in women shearing in particular. You know, from your point of view, how does that work with Rural Women New Zealand?
Well, Rural Women New Zealand recognises the efforts of women in a wide range of sectors. So there's a lot of talented and skilled women. So the fact that they're more visible in Golden Shears is really exciting, and we're here to support them every step of the way.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Penny. Thank you very much.
Okay, we've got the green light with our shearers to the board. Timekeepers ready. Shearers, get set, go.
So here we are, third heat, junior wool handling semi-final, and another great lineup of competitors. Down the end on stand 1 and 2, really keeping it in the whānau line for Rose Puha and her family, young Cortez, Mokopuna, and now her daughter Ngaira, and Whakapunaki, Maraki, partner to Naira. Awesome. There's something pretty fantastic when we see these amazing shearers having a go in the wool handling. They're not too cool. They're happy to give it all a go. And I honestly believe by having a go at the wool handling helps them to be a better shearer. Just like perhaps for the wool handlers, having a shot at shearing helps us to be better wool handlers. It is a team effort. So lovely to have you two, stand 1 and 2. Stand 3, Tremont Campbell from Gisborne. Certainly had Ngāti Porou and Turanganui Akiwa well represented here over the last few days. Fantastic for you to make this final. All the very best to you, Tremont. And down the end here, Edina, Sia, Shasha, fabulous family from Ngāti Kere on the coast of Porongahau, also resident in Australia, carrying on the skills that Porongahau are famous for. So here we go, they're all lining up, ready for their first throw, Tuma.
Oh, we've got a lovely throw down here on table number 1. She probably could have just flicked it around a little bit. Come on, Naki, you need to hurry up, mate. Your shearer will come out on your board. I think he got a little bit hooked up on something and he didn't want to move the fleece too much, but he done a good job. Come on, Naki, let's go, matey. We need to move it along. He's another one of these shearers that has been brought through the rankings. You know, you start off as a wool handler, and then you move to a presser, and then you get on the stand. So he knows everything. He's another one of these Ricky Stevens, an up and coming Ricky Stevens. But he knows his way around this here. He's made the semi-finals. We got this Ngaira Puha here on table number 1. She's working away with her shearer, Lee Edmonds. And in a typical situation in the wool shed, this is how it would work with this kind of wool on a raised board. Usually it's one-on-one, isn't it, Mavis?
Yes, and that has certainly been challenged as the price of wool has kind of dictated to some farmers the number of labour units they have in a wool shed. But, you know, to get best practice, you really do need to have one-on-one on these full wools. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in them to get the best out of it, to maximise the value of this wool clip. A wool clip that's still worth just under $1 billion to the New Zealand economy. So nothing to be sneezed at. All of the fleeces just about off the table now, tidying those tables up, getting back to their shearer, putting in the effort, making sure that the setup is as good as it can be. Here we go, Edina turns. Let's see. Lovely fleece, little bit of overhang, probably at least 2 to 3 points on this side anyway, penalties that she will attract. Tremont will be brassed off at that. Big overhang this side of the table, but she'll make it work. You just make it work. You just get on with it.
Yeah, that's right, Mavis. You see some of these wool handlers, they do something wrong and it's the end of the world. Don't worry about that. Carry on. There's no point worrying about it. I think if I remember, was it last year, we had a young lady in the open class, and she went to throw her fleece and she still had a bit of fleece wool left on the table, and she's holding this fleece and she had no other way to get that bit of wool off, so she bit it with her, you know, she bit this wool with her mouth and spat it out off the table. You know, she was that committed to not giving away points. You know, like that just shows some of the commitment from these wool handlers.
Yep, I've seen that. That went viral on YouTube. That was so good. But no, none of that here today in these semi-finals. Edina's cleared her table. Tremont's just about got hers off the table as well. She's not fussed. She's not panicked. She's just quietly working her way around her shearer, her place. And we talked about this the other day. You have some wool handlers who are very aggressive in the way they attack and work through the work in front of them. Others just seem to cruise around. Ronnie Goss was a great example of that. She never rushed or fussed, and it worked for her. Here we go. These young wool handlers are getting ready for their next throw. Good throw. Excellent. No, there's no perfect throw here, but Edina's done pretty well. Little bit of overhang, but she's got that fleece well on the table. The processing faults are very evident. She can see where they are, and she's able to address that.
Yeah, Mavis, the throws on tables 1 and 2, I think they were just a little bit shy, and they didn't really give the flick that it needed to release the top end, and a little bit of bunching up the top. But as you're saying, you know, all the processing faults that need to be found on the table, they are visible, and And they're working along nicely. But yeah, we got Ngaira here on table number 1, roll up time for her. We got Naki there on table number 2. He's nearly ready to roll up, moving around. We got Tremont there on table 3. She's got her fadge and her bin, the wool in the fadge as well. Broom in hand. You know, these wool handlers, they've got, I think, 1 minute and 20 seconds, which is a lot of time.
Yes, well, Edina's had broom in hand for a little while now, so she's probably had the head start. It's whether or not she can hold that lead, because there are a couple in here who are fast finishers. Let's see how she goes. Not far away. Some lovely clean looking boards. Hand up. Well done, Edina. That was a lovely display.
Yeah, we've got Ngaira down here. She's making a wonderful job of her cleanup. Probably one of the best junior cleanups I've seen. There we go. Time's taken for her.
That is a nice clean up at that top end. Well done. Edina, can you just come to the end of the stage, darling, please? Thank you. If we can just move back, let those judges do their thing.
Taken on table 2.
As Thomas said before, keep an eye on your wool, keep an eye on their judges. They've been watching you right through that, so you're more than welcome to do the same back, making sure that your wool is in the right place, going to the right coloured baskets.
Te Puni Kukuri Senior Wool Handling finalists. Top qualifier from Gore, Sharon Tuhakaraina. From Invercargill, Lashara Anderson. From Dannyvirk, Ash Boyce. And lucky last from Napier, Ricky Stevens.
Wow, that's going to be a great final.
We're going to get our Young Farmers Teams event underway as soon as we get the teams on the screens. From Martin, representing the West Coast, we've got Jimmy Samuels and Logan Kamura and Connor Puha and Naira Puha. Representing the East Coast, we've got the Pritchard family, Mark Baxter, Samantha Baxter, Callum Pritchard and Summer Pritchard. And representing the South Island, Ethan Pankhurst, Sarah Higgins, Duncan Higgins and Sam Gordon. We only need 3 tables, so our wool team will get rid of a table pretty quickly, I think, and we'll get underway.
Testing. Nicole Petois and Cherie Alabaster up the stairs to the Secretary's office, please. Thank you. All right, Tuma, well, they're just getting themselves all sorted up here in this event. So we're moving into the young farmers. Of course, this show itself was originally started by young farmers. Someone came up with a bright idea, and we've talked about growing seeds, haven't we? A thought become the Golden Shears. So think it up here, and one day you might hold it in your hand. So that's the young farmers system, and now we've got the teams events. We've just got the one heat of that, Tuma, haven't we?
Yes, that's right, Gerald. We've got one heat of this. These wool handlers, they would have been talking last night and getting all their plans sorted. So at the moment, they're just asking how their nights were, and we got the green lights. So shearers to the board. Now these guys are handling 3, is it, Norm? How many fleeces?
6.
6 long wool fleeces, so they'll be shearing 3 sheep each.
Sorry, Tuma, 3 each. 6 in total.
Yep.
Yep, we got it.
So 6 per team.
Yeah, 3 each. Jimmy's only got 3, so.
Okay, we got the big thumb up from the referee. Timekeepers ready. Shearers, get set, go.
All right, Tuma, we're underway. Sponsors here, Cooper's Proven, okay? So that's all animal health products to do with the agriculture industry. And Cooper's, of course, been around a very, very long time.
Excuse me, Gerald. Nicole Petuha and Cherie Alabaster, can you guys go up to the office, please?
And been around on a very, very long time with all their animal health things, from vaccines to drenches and oral drenches and pour-ons and the likes. So back to the action itself. So at this moment, we've put these teams together. They are young farmers, okay? Young farmers clubs yesteryear they dominated the scene throughout New Zealand. It was a brilliant scene where all the young farmers to get together and exchange knowledge and do tasks and do shearing competitions against each other and the likes. It's a wee bit thinner on the ground these days, Tuma, of course, but still a big part of New Zealand, where there's a group of young people that get together with a common goal and a common interest.
Yes, that's right, Gerald. I think the common goal was to drink as much alcohol as you could and then jump on a four-wheeler and do donuts.
Yeah.
But that's the old school. These new guys, you know, they're a little bit more onto it, a little bit more clever. You know, there's a lot more drenching and all that sort of stuff carrying on now. You know, a lot of farms now, they have downsized, but the numbers have grown. Lovely throw there from Logan Kamura. And this is teamwork, ladies and gentlemen. Like, in a typical situation, this is how it would work. Isn't that right, Gerald?
Yeah, this is how it goes, right? This is a very much like a sheared operation, isn't it? We've got two wool handlers and 2 shearers in this case, and the wool keeps coming. We've got to get that table clear. And in this case, the front team here for the West Coast have got in amongst it, and Jimmy Samuels has got the first fleece out and away and says, come on, let's get some team points, or time points more to the point for the team. Right, so second fleece here, the West Coast, getting that organised. And the East Coast throws one there, a wee bit hanging over, a wee bit much porridge this morning, a little bit off the side. The Woolhandlers go to work on it. The key with this table here is to get those little wee white fribby bits down on the ground. See those little wee white bits, folks? That's to cover tennis balls. That's all it's worth. So it goes across the grated table so that can go down there. Under the watchful eye of the judges, of course, the whole fleece needs to be on that table within reason. Otherwise, there is a loss of points. And, of course, it's at a good working height where you can go around there. And in the Woolhandler's case, it can save your back. Going into that just quickly, Tuma, of course, once upon a time, all wool sheds had a flat floor. And then the raised board arrived.
Just a question, Gerald. You know, what prompted the raised board? Was it for the Woolhandlers mainly? Do you have any history on that?
I think it was for a shearer's point of view, Tuma.
Morgan, listening
Back to the board, they say. Right, South Island, come on, I'm a Southlander. Right down the bottom, south coast, down beside TY Aluminium Smelter. Who we got down there? We've got Ethan and Sarah. And Duncan and Sam. Come on, you South Islanders. Ethan throws a leg over and locks that one up. Onto the fleece they go. Working around there, Sarah says, come on, we've got to get this right, team. We've had a team meeting out the back and said, right, you do this, you do that. But I tell you what, if anyone's employed staff, you know you have to shadow them for a long time. You can't presume, and you can write everything down and plan as much as you want, but when it comes to game time, sometimes it's a wee bit chaotic for a while. And these teams are a wee bit like that. They haven't been in the shed together, you know, planning every step. No, they haven't done that. So it can be a wee bit fun to watch, but they'll work that out as they go. So here we go, the South Island team. Let's shift all our focus down the bottom. There's only one heat of this, so get in behind them. There is a Golden Shears ribbon up for grabs. Here's a throw. Oh, it looks good there. Wee bit of bunching, but we'll take that. I can't see anything hanging under there for the South Island team, and to work they go. What's happening in the East Coast, as Tim is saying, enough of that. Gerald, give me this microphone back from up here in the north, and I'll tell you all about these North Island teams. They're going to work. The East Coast goes for a tight bundle of wool. 6 of these to handle. They must be about the halfway stage now. Onto the broom goes the East Coast. Sweepity, sweepity. Keep the workroom tidy. The saying is, it's easy to keep tidy when it is tidy. So you just keep it do those little bits all the time. Keep the little things right and you don't have the big things. Oh, they're starting to get their twinkle toes going now, the South Island. Come on, get into it.